So ever since I finished building this Cole mech here, I've started to notice that a lot of my mocks are pretty samey. And I did start to notice it with these two mechs. That is why I have these two on camera right now. That these mechs are almost the exact same. Like, yeah, they're very different in terms of color schemes and just some of the general features of the mechs. But just simplify them down to like the simplest forms, and they're pretty much the same thing. Cole's mech here is pretty much just a simpler version of my custom Samurai X mech. And now one of the places that they're the most similar, if not the most similar, are the legs. These legs are the exact same. They're literally the exact same leg. If we take a look at pixels here, we can see that there is a 2x4 plate here on the bottom, two ball joints right up against each other, and it was just with a bunch of stuff just on top of it. Then we have one of these pieces with a ball in it to make the knee, a bracket with something coming up here, with something on top of it here to stop it from bending forward. And then the bottom part of the leg being two studs long with a mixed ball joint at the bottom, and then the foot. Take a look at Cole's here. 2x4 plate. That same piece. Same thing. Bracket with pieces on top to make sure the leg doesn't go as far. Or doesn't go forward. The bottom part of the leg, two studs long, mixer ball joint. And then Pixels just has more pieces on top of the leg than Cole's does. Well, Cole's just has a few bigger pieces covering up his leg. Like this next one that's shield and this Master of the Mountain armor piece. While Pixel uses a lot more smaller pieces. Which is a theme with these two mechs. Is that Pixel uses a bunch of like smaller pieces and is overall just like more detailed. And while Cole's is a lot simpler. Like, look at this. I should not be able to do this. So now I'm basically going to show you how I build the frame of all my mechs. So now either I go with two 2x6 plates, or one 2x6 plate and one 2x4 plate. And then for this video, I'll go for two 2x6 plates. And then I put them together like this. I bring back in that 2x4 plate. Put it right here. Put two ball joints right here. And then put the leg that there. Okay, so now I just compared, and these two mechs here are actually one stud longer than this here, so it would be like this. Then this right here is pretty much the frame for all of my mechs with just a few exceptions. So now, even though they all have pretty much the same frame, that doesn't mean they all have to be the same. Like, for example, Hero Factory, they all had the same frame, the same basic body, but each of them had their own unique parts and armor layered on top of the skeletons to make them unique. And yes, all my mocks do have their own unique things about them, but they all use this same base, and then it's just from there, it's just me stacking bricks on top of this frame until I get it to the height I need to put clips on so I can have the cockpit be in the place I need it to be. And now I'm going to bring in a few more mocks just to show my point more. This mech right here was actually, I'm pretty sure, in the background of this guy's video. And that video was recorded over a month ago, and I still haven't finished this one. I haven't touched them for a month. But I don't think that's a good thing, because this mech, I think, would have been the exact same as these two right here. Now, one difference is that he is built up more, and that is because Lloyd here is almost completely enclosed. Like, see, this front plate comes up above his face, which I really like, but you can still see out there because of this piece right here. But see, we flip it over to the back, and it uses that same frame. So yeah, I think if I finish this one would be the third mech in this line of mechs that are almost the exact same. And now we have a slightly older mech, this guy right here. I'm like, he's not too old. I think I built him back in like November, which was 5 months ago at this point. Holy cow, November was 5 months ago at this point. And if you take a look, another thing I haven't pointed out yet are the arms. And that's mainly because these guys do have different arms. Cole uses the SCCBS pieces here for his arms, while Pixel's mech does not. And Lloyd's mech also uses the SCCBS pieces for arms, but Kai's mech here does not. Kai's arms here are done the exact same way as Pixel's arms. Here, I took off a piece of Pixel's arm here so you can see it better. But see, they do use like the same basic build, except Kai's mech uses 2 sockets, while Pixel's mech uses a socket and a ball joint. And then also, Pixel's arm here just has a lot more going on. A lot more pieces are going into this arm, into this build. As you can see, Kai's mech here just uses a SCCBS armor piece on his arm. A Pixel has all this, and see, on the bottom of Kai's arm is just a 2x4 plate, while on Pixel's it's all of this. Then we put this on, and then it just adds even more. Now, and there was actually a comment on this guy's video that pointed this out, that all of these mechs are kind of samey. And that comment is pretty much what made me decide to go ahead and make this video. Now, I have been wanting to make this video for over a month and record this video. Now, I think the reason, or at least part of the reason, why my mechs are so samey, and why I've been building my mechs pretty much I've been building mechs the same way for a while now, are SCCBS parts. I believe that these guys right here are why I've been building my mechs pretty much the same way for the past 2 years. And not just these pieces, but the Evo mechs themselves. I think 2 years ago, when these were introduced, is when I pretty much just stopped progressing as a MOC builder. Not completely stopped, but seriously slowed down. Because you see anything similar between this and this? Seen anything similar? I think when I got my hands on Zane's Evo mech over 2 years ago and saw how it was built, I was like, I want to build that. Which is good. That's what it was made for. A simple, easy way to build mechs to get kids into MOC building. But I saw that and kind of clung on to it. I never really stopped building mechs like this. And then shortly after the first wave of core sets came out, I got my hands on quite a few of these pieces. That's because I placed a bricks and pieces order for these, but then something happened and I ended up with two, with a double of my order. So I ended up with more of these things than I knew what to do with. So that means I was able to use them in a lot of MOCs. So this right here was pretty much how I was building a lot of my MOCs for like the past 2 years. And then if not like this, then I would build them pretty much how this mech here is built. Basically taking a 2x4 plate and then just putting either two ball sockets or a ball socket and a ball joint here on that 2x4. It was either one of those two ways. Either this or this, or sometimes a combination of the two. And see, the legs are the exact same, just with a little more going on down here at the knees. And then you have the MOCs I built pretty much exactly how Zane's Evo mech here is built. If you go back to a video over a year ago, back in January of 2023, back when I was still making Minecraft videos, I built an Evo mech for Cole. And it is literally just a copy and paste of Zane's mech here. I don't have it together still. I took it apart, a little while ago. But it is pretty much a copy and paste of Zane's mech here. And then, for every single one of these mechs I built, I went back and referred to this mech to see how to build them. For every single one of these, I looked at this guy and pretty much copied how he was built to make these. And this one right here, I built this year in 2024. And I'm still copying this guy. And then I kind of switched it up with this Cole mech here that I really like. I use the Nexonite's cockpit here. I guess this is the Marvel cockpit. Here for the torso. But still, the arms and legs are still using those same pieces. Even if I do think this one is pretty unique. Because one, that torso. And then all the greebling that's on the side of the legs. I'm really happy with how this turned out. And then also, my custom Imperium MOC. This one, like Cole's, the arms and legs are pretty much exact same. They use these pieces. Even though this was meant to be an alternate build, and these did not come in this set, but I used them to make my life a whole lot simpler. And then the torso here is really unique because the pilot is a lot more exposed. It's not using this piece right here. It's a lot more exposed. Yeah. But see, it's still using that same skeleton. It's still using that same frame. And then we have these guys, which I said were meant to be built like the 2024 mechs. But they're not, like, at all. These guys, I guess, are slightly more unique since they use 2 SCCBS joints. Not just one, but 2 for the legs. Ooh. Then if you see here, still, arms, boom. boom, turn them around. They're using that same frame. Like, it's slightly different with the angles, since these guys are a bit more angular. But it's still the basic design. It really is. It really is still just this. Just with angled plates and not these plates. Not like the rectangular ones. One thing I do really like, though, is how there are gaps in their legs. I think that makes them look really cool and mechanical, and that is one thing that would be really hard to pull off without these pieces. Okay, and now the next one I have here is also a bit of an older one, and also maybe the most unique one so far. Here is another Lloyd mech. This guy is very tall, very lanky. And that's what makes him a bit more unique. Also, see the torso extends up above his head, and the arms are attached above Lloyd's head here. It does not use these pieces, and it does not use this cockpit piece. And Lloyd is pretty much fully enclosed in here. And it also uses pretty much the same knees as these two here. See? Right there, it's the same piece. It's the same piece that these two here use. Just, I made it way too complicated to have this whole knee pad here when I didn't need that. So this whole knee pad here is really pointless and honestly just kind of annoying. And see, he has these very long and lanky arms with 3 points of articulation. Ooh. This guy right here is the only one to have 3 points of articulation in both arms. Also, another interesting thing I did, I used the Spinjitzu burst piece here from Master of the Mountain for shoulder pads. And I think that works really, really well. See? Shoulders, elbows, and wrist. This is probably the most articulating mech I own. The only thing it's really missing is waist articulation. But now, if we turn around to the back, you will notice something. See anything similar? Here, let me remove this stuff here. See anything similar? That same design. It uses that same design, just a lot longer. But now this is, I think, how I can make that design work. See, this mech is very unique. This is a very unique mech, and it does use that same frame. So I think this is how I should be using this design in unique ways. And then you have these this back attachment here that also adds to it to make it different. This is probably one of my least favorite, but it is one of the most unique. And now I have one last mech to show off here. This is by far my least favorite, but I want to show it off because I did something very unique with it. And I tried something new. Here it is, okay. And now this mech right here was inspired by Retro Bricks, I believe is his name, video. It's Brick Legends Brothers channel. And I might be able to see it better if I turn it around here. But see, I did not use this frame. Let's just pop this off here. And you can see what I did. See? So what I did, I attached these pieces of 2x6 plates. I attached them to mixer ball joints to angle them. Then you have these hinge plates down here to angle them. And if you combine these angle plates with the mixer ball joints, that allows you to angle these pieces. I just said, I don't know. And now this design does not work. It is very fragile. It comes apart quite often. See if I move the arm around. It just breaks like that. Which might actually be a thing with that hinge, not the design itself. That might be like an older hinge piece. See if we move around this arm. Okay, it seems to be pretty much fine with that arm. So it's probably just a hinge piece. But see, it's still like moving back and forth. Should not. Still like moving back and forth and just doesn't feel or look the best. Like, see, you have this ugly gap right here. And I'm sure you can cover that up. But it would be pretty hard to fill in this angle. And see, this arm right here has 3 points of articulation. Whoa. And this arm only has 2. This and then ratcheted. And this hand right here was originally meant to be a bike. Just a little fun fact there. Now overall, this mech was a failure, and I do not like it at all. But it is unique. I tried something new, and that's what matters. And see, it has knees as well. It just uses ratcheted joints there. Yeah. And now, here is one last mech. This right here doesn't use any STCBS pieces. And this is what I want my mechs to look like going forward. Well, actually, I don't want them to look like this, because that would defeat the whole purpose. I'm trying to make my mechs not all be the same. And now, shortly after I finish building this guy right here, I stumbled across this YouTuber called Mindbender. He makes Lego mechs. That's like all he does. And it was watching his videos that helped me realize that I need a change. And I've been stuck building pretty much all my mechs the same way for 2 years. And one more thing about Mindbender is that he also makes like the best Lego Transformers I have ever seen. Pretty much all the other Lego Transformers I've seen are really, really complicated and really, really fragile. The ones he makes don't look nearly as fragile and aren't nearly as complicated, but not really simple as well. Still in a really fun and engaging transformation. And so his videos have inspired me to make this thing. And now, I don't know if you noticed or not, but this right here is actually Jay's mech from January. It's that small $10 one, a Jay's Battle Pack thing. This is, I took that mech and pretty much upgraded it. I used that mech as a base for this mech. See, I also used that cockpit there from the set. See, the bottoms of the legs and the feet are literally just pulled straight from that mech, which you might think it looks stupid with these really, really thin legs, and it does, but I don't know. I think it really works. I think it works. And again, I was inspired by Mindbender's MOCs, and he has, I wouldn't say anything like this, but I could see him doing something like this, giving a mech really thin legs. See, a couple things I did that I don't normally do are, one, I attached the arms like this. Like, see, the this ball joint is facing this way instead of this way. It's not attached on like that. It's not attached on like that. Which does limit the articulation in the arms a little. But it's not too bad. And again, my goal with this mech was to make it as unique as possible. At least for me. And also, knees here, I attached them. These ball joints are sticking out the back of they're coming out of the back of the legs instead of coming down. So it kind of has the spin. So the legs go like this and then down. Down. And then another interesting thing is how the thing opens. So come out here to the back and you just pull up. And see there's a bar in there for some reason. And you open it up and Jay is inside. Wow. And see you just open it up and Jay is inside. And then you have this whole thing here on a ton of clips. But I think that right there looks really cool. Oh crap, I'm recording. Yeah, okay, that looks really cool. Okay, I really like how that looks there. Okay, now, I really like how that looks. That looks really good. I might actually prefer that over this. But I'll just be sticking with this. Okay, this is turned out to be a very long video. I'm 28 minutes into the recording. This is longer than the tier list video. But this has been a video I've been wanting to make for a little while. Thanks again to Mindbender for making me see that I've been building the same mech for the past 2 years. Like the same 2 mechs maybe. And then also thanks again to that one person who commented on this guy's video. Yeah, thanks again to that guy for finally making me sit down and record this video. I completely forget your name. I am sorry. But it shouldn't be too hard to find this comment. It is the only comment on Cole's Dragon Mech. So yeah, I was planning on editing this today or tonight as well, but I don't think that's going to happen. I want to say I've been recording for like an hour. And it's going to take me at least another hour to edit this thing. And it's a school night. I gotta get to bed in like 40 minutes. I think this video will make up for me not uploading today, which is the 18th. And even though this right here is how I want to make my mechs going forward, these two are still my favorite. Yeah, with that, I'd really appreciate, if you enjoyed, I'd really appreciate it if you took 2 seconds to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.